All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. So today we're going to be looking at,
Brainwaves.
the
Brainwaves.
electrical symphony in our heads.
Haha, exactly. We're diving deep into the world of EEG, electroencephalography, which is basically like...
Listening in on the electrical activity of the brain.
Yeah. And it's totally painless and non-invasive, right?
That's right. We're not going all Frankenstein here.
No scalpels needed.
Nope.
So maybe you could walk us through how this all actually works. I mean, how do you go from electrodes on the scalp to actually seeing and understanding brain activity?
So picture this. You've got these little sensors called electrodes that we place on the scalp.
Like little microphones.
Exactly. And they're picking up the faint electrical signals coming from the brain.
Okay, but how? I mean, the brain's tucked away under the skull.
Right. But these signals, though tiny, generate an electrical field. The electrodes detect it, and the EEG machine amplifies it.
So that's where the wavy lines on the screens come from.
Precisely. Those lines represent the electrical activity of the brain in real time. Pretty cool, huh?
Super cool. But it's not just about looking at pretty patterns, right?
Oh, definitely not. EEG is an incredibly powerful tool, for example, in diagnosing conditions like epilepsy.
Because seizures are basically electrical storms in the brain, right?
Exactly. EEG allows us to see where these electrical storms originate and how they spread.
That helps determine the type of seizure and what treatment might work best.
Precisely. It's like having a roadmap of the electrical activity during a seizure.
Makes sense. But I've also read that EEG can be used to study sleep disorders, which seems a bit counterintuitive. How can electrical signals tell you anything about sleep?
Well, you see, sleep isn't just about switching off. It has different stages, each with its own brainwave signature.
So like deep sleep would look different on an EEG than, say, light sleep.
Exactly. Deep sleep is characterized by these slow, rhythmic delta waves, while REM sleep, where we dream, shows faster, more irregular activity.
And by seeing these patterns, you can diagnose things like insomnia or sleep apnea.
Absolutely. It helps us identify disruptions in the normal sleep cycle.
Wow. It's incredible what you can learn just from looking at brainwaves. And I even read that EEG is used during brain surgery too.
That's right. It's incredibly valuable in those high-stakes situations.
So how does that work? Are they like watching the brainwaves while they operate?
Essentially, yes. It allows surgeons to monitor brain activity in real time during delicate procedures.
So they can make sure they're not damaging any vital areas.
Exactly. It's like having a live feed of how the brain is responding.
And I've heard it's even used in intensive care units.
Absolutely. For patients with severe head injuries or who are in a coma, EEG can help doctors assess brain function.
So even in those critical situations, it can provide vital information.
That's amazing. And then there's neurofeedback, right?
Hmm.
Where people can actually learn to control their own brain waves.
That's right. It's like brainwave training.
Seriously, that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. Ha, it does, doesn't it? But it's real.
So how does that even work?
Well, it's based on the idea of biofeedback. Individuals learn to modify their brainwave patterns in real time.
So they can see their brainwaves and then try to change them.
Exactly. And it's showing real promise in treating conditions like ADHD, anxiety, and even chronic pain.
It's incredible to think about the possibilities. So for our listeners out there, what's the key takeaway here? Why should they care about understanding their brainwaves?
Because understanding your brain's electrical activity can be crucial for understanding your health and well-being. It can help diagnose neurological conditions, monitor brain function, and even open up new avenues for treatment.
And who knows what the future holds? Brain-computer interfaces, maybe?
It's definitely an area of active research. Imagine being able to control devices with just your thoughts.
Mind-blowing stuff. So to wrap things up, if our listeners could actually see their brainwaves in action, what would they reveal?
It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? Would they reveal our hidden thoughts, our emotions, our personality?
The electrical secrets of the brain. Something to ponder, for sure. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure. Until next time.
See ya.
You've been listening to the Learning Podcast, a production of metaNESTA. Remember, learning is a journey. One step, one insight, one skill at a time. We'll see you next time. Keep learning, stay curious, and as always, be awesome.